blood from a stone.
Yeah, it's royalty free because we can't afford to
Buy real music.
buy real music. Yeah, so we buy this country music that sounds.
It's pretty good though.
It is pretty good. Yeah,
Pretty good.
yeah. Yeah, so I love talking trucks, my man, especially on Thursdays. Hey guys, you got it? All right,
Yeah.
Tommy's got it. Hey guys, welcome to Talking Trucks on Thursday, and I'm Mr. Truck, and this is Andre.
Yes, I have gotten quite a bit younger, but same school. We both go to CU Boulder.
And I've gotten quite a bit, hairier. No, Mr. Truck's got a good head of hair. Anyway, guys, Andre and Mr. Truck are actually working today, getting ready for the massive Ike Gauntlet that we're doing tomorrow, because we've got the brand new 2019 Ram Heavy Duty at the office, and we're going to tow heavy. We're going to go big.
Yeah, so it's a new 6.7 liter Cummins with the 1,000 pound-feet of torque straight six. So I know they're really excited to see how that goes up the world's toughest towing test.
Yeah, and they've got a 50-foot trailer. Dude, it's this incredibly 14 axle trailer that they got from our new partners Transwest. Thank you, Transwest, for working with us on the Ike. And they're going to have to fill it with, I want to say 10,000 pounds of water. So that's why they're not here. They're working hard, filling up the trailer and getting the heavy weight that we'll need to test out the new Ram.
Yep, and full disclosure, we both have a cold today, so if one of us has to stop and cough, we apologize ahead of time.
Yeah. So today, speaking of coughing,
Yep.
It's all about our small trucks, the next big thing. And we're going to be talking about what's happening, let's say, 2-3 years down the road. So yes, we are going to be talking about the Bronco. Mm-hmm. That's one of our more popular questions. We're going to be talking about that truck back there, the new Courier. We got some spy shots of what is Ford's, hopefully, new spy trucks, and we'll deep dive into that. And then we're, of course, talking about your questions. So, gosh, we're getting at least, 10, 15, 20 questions a week now from our viewers. And these are not just questions, Tommy. These are little novels. Very, you guys have very in-depth and great questions, and we're going to try to answer some of those. So let's dig right in.
Yeah, so behind us are spy photos of what looks like a van, but we believe this is actually the new Ford Courier, or Courier. So if you don't know what that is, back in the, way back when in the 1970s, Ford had a mini truck called the Courier, even before the Ford Ranger, and it was a very small 4-cylinder rear-wheel drive entry-level truck. And we believe that this is the successor. Now, what the manufacturer can do is disguise it however they may. But if you look closely, we think that this actually isn't a van, but rather a new subcompact pickup truck, let's say. You can see the cut line down the side. It's pretty clear that there's some kind of bed underneath there. Maybe not a full van rear end, but a bed. Also, if you look at the cab, you can see that the cab kind of comes straight down, right where a bed could be.
Yeah, and the Courier is, according to reports, based on the Ford Escape. So think of an Escape with a bed.
Yeah.
Right? Because obviously Ford, all this, has announced that they are no longer going to be building cars except for the Mustang and a few others. So they are going to go big into trucks. And, let's talk about small trucks. Once upon a time, as you guys probably know, mini trucks, as they were called, right, were the next big thing. Toyota had one, Nissan had one. It was kind of the Japanese way of breaking into our...
well, even Chevy had one.
Yeah.
With the Love, Mazda had one with the rotary pickup truck. Isuzu had one. Every manufacturer, Mitsubishi had one. They all were in the mini truck craze.
And then what always happens in America is when you go up in generation, you tend to go up in size. And so these mini trucks eventually became bigger trucks. So the little Toyota mini truck became the T100, which became the Tundra, which became a full-size truck, right?
Yep.
And today's full-size trucks are bigger than the old mid-size trucks. And today's mid-size trucks are almost as big as current full-size trucks.
Wait, other way around. You mean the new mid-size are as big as the old full-size.
Right, exactly.
And the new full-size are as big as the old heavy
Thanks for
duties.
translating,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, I got it.
Yeah, and so that means that there's space underneath the mid-size truck for a small truck. And we've got manufacturers like Ford coming in. We, of course, have Hyundai, which is going to hopefully build the Santa Cruz, which is also kind of a pickup Baja e-truck like. And there's talk of a lot of other manufacturers jumping into that, what really is white space, right? And manufacturers love white space. White space just means it's a place where there are no current vehicles and no one's competing for. And I think it's a great idea. I love mini trucks. The problem with mini trucks, or at least many incarnations, is that they're really not trucks. They're like a unibody, not real versions of truck, not body on frame, right?
I disagree, because if you look back at the old school trucks, they were all body on frame.
Yeah.
I mean, the only trucks that were, somewhat
But the new ones,
different.
I'm saying the new ones.
Yeah, the new ones may not be. I mean,
That's the problem.
you see behind us, we have no idea what this is based on. It could be the new Escape, but it could be even a car platform. This could be a throwback to something like a Ranchero, for all we know.
Yeah.
So there were, back in the day, there were so many different variations of trucks. You had the car-based platforms, which in Australia they called Utes, but like the El Camino, the Ranchero. Then you had the bigger full-size trucks and the heavy duties, and then you had the mini trucks. But the other issue with mini trucks back in the day is they were typically rear-wheel drive. So there were some four-wheel drive configurations, but a lot of them, a vast majority of them, I might even say, were rear-wheel drive. So we'll have to see if the new breed of mini trucks, if that's actually coming, is actually four-wheel drive.
Trey, thank you very much. We appreciate the donation.
Yep, so $24.99 gets you a patch. We should talk about our pricing here.
Yeah, our giveaways.
Our giveaways,
that
yeah.
aren't giveaways. The way for you guys to support TFL. Go ahead.
So we have our little patches, which are really cool.
And you know what we got today? Look at that. We got
Car
TFL
and truck
stickers now, so we can send you one of those as well. So Trey, send us an email to ask a TFL a truck.
It's Tyrell, by the way.
Oh, Tyrell. Sorry, Tyrell.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tyrell, man. I apologize. Tyrell, please send us an email with your address to ask a TFL truck, and we'll send you a sticker and a patch. And thank you very much. So let's keep going, dude. Let's bring on the star of the show, Zach. Do you have this next picture? Now, this is a picture that was there. It is. Oh, where was it? Where was it on what website? We need to give credit.
Car and Driver.
Car and Driver.
It's on the thumbnail right there.
Okay, yeah. So that was posted to Car and Driver as potentially, Tommy, the new Bronco. And look at that thing. It looks like a mini truck.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. I have a theory. I think they're probably testing chassis components, maybe engine, maybe drivetrain, and not body. So I think the body in this photo is somewhat irrelevant, but I think it is indicative maybe of the size we'll see a future Bronco.
It looks almost like like a Via Cross, right? Remember the old Via Cross?
A Via Cross.
Yeah.
Our producer Zach, his dad has like 12 of them.
Yeah, it looks like a Via Cross. It doesn't quite look like a Bronco to me, because we've all been now shown pictures of Broncos in various states of potential disguise and undisguised, right? There's one that was shown in what was that movie that
With Dwayne the Rock
yeah,
Johnson.
Dwayne the Rock, right? And that one was very boxy and square.
That was a concept from a long while back.
Right, and
Yeah.
it doesn't look anything like this.
Well, we actually have some comments. A guy named Vince Clark says that's a chopped Ranger test mule. So it could very well be based on a Ranger, at least this mule, the body, that's been shortened.
Yeah, it could be, and it's not the boxy square kind of thing I was expecting for a Bronco. And by the way, a couple of months ago, we posted some pictures from a dealer association of the Bronco and of a mini Bronco that's supposed to come back, and we got a kind of a nasty letter from Ford telling us to knock it off.
Yeah, that was the photo of the what was thought to be the small Bronco. So the theory is there's going to be a real big Bronco, like an off-roady one, and then a Bronco that's like a Bronco Sport, like an on-road crossover.
Once again, a mini truck, Tommy. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
small trucks are the next big thing. And I think what's happening is, let's face it, we've had really great times in the automotive biz for the last 10 years, right? We went from basically selling 10 million units or vehicles a year, which was the bottom of the barrel in 2010, to now we're selling last year just around 17 million. And there is cycles in the car and truck business, and we're on the downslope right now. And I think what's happening is manufacturers see that. They see that people are going to have less money, and they're planning for that. And so they're planning on hopefully coming out with less expensive vehicles. I think the good times where, a Scrambler, now cost or potentially can cost, we don't know pricing on it, but certainly $50,000 if not more.
Gladiator.
Gladiator. Those times are probably past.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, because I'm not so sure I agree. I think at least for the next, well, I don't know economics that well. I'm not a market analyst, but we see trucks just getting more and more expensive. But you got to figure at some point that the market can only bear so much before they aren't going to sell $120,000 full-size
that
truck.
Ram that Andre's about to test up the Ike is $80,000, Tommy. 80.
Yeah, but I mean, you also have the huge display in the center. It's a very loaded truck, right? You've got heated and cooled seats, full leather interior. You've got wood trim. It's basically a Cadillac from 5-10 years ago, but it can tow 30,000 pounds with a straight six diesel.
Yeah, but let me ask you this question, okay? And I don't know the answer to it, but I'm gonna ask anyway. How many Bugatti Chirons do you think they sell a year?
Chirons?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's
You
like
can only count that on
3.2 million.
Right. Hey, thank you, Jeff. Ray 2000. What happened to the gold hitch scores this year?
Well, they're still coming out.
Yeah, we haven't done our deliberations yet, so stay tuned for those very soon. We always announce those at the Denver Auto Show, which happens. Wow, thank you, Leather Kid 001. Much appreciated, dude. If you want a hat, let us know. We're gonna announce those gold hitch winners at the Denver Auto Show, which happens at the end of the month. So we're gonna be doing deliberations. I just actually paid for the big award belt buckles. Yeah, we got kind of crazy. We got very American. Anyway, what I was saying is they don't sell a lot of Chirons, right?
Chirons?
Right, because it's just
I'm a truck guy. I don't know. Chiron?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway, they don't sell a lot of Bugattis, Tommy. And the thing about trucks is they sell a lot of trucks, and you can make a boatload more money, right, selling a lot of things cheaply than you can make selling one thing expensively.
Right.
And so they're not going to sell a boatload of $80,000 Ram HD super luxurious Longhorns. It's just not going to happen.
Chase Younggreen says 70 were sold last year. Thanks, Chase.
Thanks, Chase.
Jeffrey gave us another $2. Thank you. He says, when is GM revealing the new 3.0 liter Duramax? We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, they don't tell us. They just kind of do it. Sometimes we get a little bit of a heads up. They'll shoot us an email saying, "Hey guys, we're doing a program. Want you to come," and then they won't tell us what's on the program, but we can kind of guess at what it is. So the latest has always been in the springtime. So soon.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So this is an interesting comment.
Yeah.
In line with our comments. TT55K says, only for guys who just like to go four-wheeling. For those of us that use trucks to work on the farm or pulling fifth wheels, big trucks for the win. Little trucks are for ? Useless.
What if you're a small farmer on a small farm?
What?
I'm just saying.
Like a really tiny farm?
Yeah, let's say you've got one of those little, pop-up farms. Are there such things as pop-up farms?
I'm sure there are, but the thing is...
Or you have pygmy goats.
Yes, if you have really small goats. But the thing about small trucks is you can use them in all sorts of situations. Think about the fact that, let's say, for the average Joe that just uses their truck to go to Home Depot, maybe buy some lumber, right? Or maybe buy some plants and stuff. People that use trucks to haul motorcycles, a small truck is perfect. Behind us, behind Zach, we have a '89 Comanche. It's got... by modern standards, it's based on essentially a Cherokee XJ platform. It's got a pretty small bed, but it can do everything we've needed it to do.
Actually, I disagree. It's got a big bed. It's 6.5 feet long.
Yeah, but it's pretty narrow.
Yeah,
pretty narrow
but
bed.
still, you could get a motorcycle back there, right? It's actually bigger than most modern half-ton trucks, right?
Well,
They're 5.5 feet.
If you have a small truck with a small cab, then you can use more space for a bigger bed.
Yeah.
Just like that Comanche. I mean, it's got a pretty small footprint, but it's also got a small cab, so it can have a 6.5 foot bed.
Look. Here's the rub. I think. Yeah, of course, big trucks can do a lot more, but what small trucks can do is they can live in the city, and most people live in cities, right? So if you're a manufacturer and you understand that the demographics of your market are that most of your customers live in Houston, Dallas, Chicago, New York, LA, and it's really hard to park an HD truck, right? Mm-hmm. And I said Houston, Dallas because a lot of trucks are sold in Texas, but a lot of Texans live in big cities, and that's where the people live. And that's where it's hard to live with a big truck. And so it gives you the opportunity to actually reach more customers.
That's not just the U.S. either. Because the thing is about small trucks, one commenter is just saying, take a global view here. It's not just designing something that'll work in congested American cities. There are congested European cities and Asian cities where these kinds of small trucks can really come in useful.
Yeah, and there's another good question. I'd like to know what kind of big truck owner actually need the carrying capacity. You know, Andre's about to tow close to 30,000 pounds. Who actually tows 30,000 pounds in any kind of real life situation, right? Most of us will tow boats or ATVs or side-by-sides, and if you're a working guy, you probably tow farm equipment. But even that, to get up to like 35,000 pounds, which is what the new Cummins can tow, that's a lot of weight, and it's a serious amount of weight that most people don't tow. By the way, over here, this number, this shows we're live. So if you see that number, you know we're always live. This is a live show. If you're looking for a produced show and this will air as a saved video, then you come to the wrong place.
Yep.
If you want one of those like top 10 5 lists.
I will say, though, that a lot of our viewers out there actually do tow their use their trucks to tow to the max. I mean, we've gotten a lot of emails from hotshot truckers, you know, people that are using their truck for work, for commercial purposes. A lot of those guys will tow 25, 30,000 pounds consistently.
Yeah, sure. I think it's also, who's got the bigger, competition among the truck manufacturers. It's just easier to sell a truck when you can say, we've got best-in-class towing, we've got best-in-class.
So this is an interesting question. Should Mercedes bring the X-Class pickup to the U.S.?
No, it's a rebranded Nissan.
Yeah, we recently, last year we were in Germany, and we went to a Mercedes dealer because we wanted to see and even maybe possibly drive an X-Class, and they wouldn't let us drive it.
Nope.
And actually, I got to say, just from sitting in the truck, I think a lot of U.S. buyers would be very disappointed with the X-Class, because I thought, Mercedes, they would do a lot more than rebrand a Nissan. And yes, there are differences between the Nissan and the Mercedes, but you get in the thing, and there are just so many carryover parts from a Nissan, and it feels so small. I mean, it really is a tight little truck.
Yeah, and Europeans have tighter roads and tighter parking, so small trucks make sense. What doesn't make sense to me is, why isn't Mercedes building their own truck? I mean, Mercedes builds trucks, right? They build Unimog,
awesome trucks.
They build awesome trucks. Why are they partnering with Nissan for a pickup truck? Come on, Mercedes. Don't tell me you don't have the engineering to actually build your own Mercedes pickup truck. You have to go and rebrand a Nissan. That's crazy.
Okay, so we have a bunch of questions that we've compiled from emails you guys have sent us. Thank you for sending us these questions. ask@tfltruck.com. And Zach is going to read some aloud, and we're just going to have a casual discussion and see what you guys think.
Well, while we're on the subject of the X-Class, that was actually one of the, I'll call it comment. It wasn't so much of a question from Ralph, who was saying that he's run across info about Mercedes planning to rebadge Nissan Titans as their own, so possibly doing larger trucks. Suppose there are rumors floating out there. I've also found info about Mercedes working with Nissan on the Z car, so perhaps doing a
So let me kind of, in
like
case
that.
people can't hear you, one of our viewers wrote in and said that Mercedes might be planning to rebrand the Titan, which I think is a horrible idea.
If that is indeed true.
And that they might be actually planning to rebrand. Do you need some more water, Tommy?
Yes, no, I got it. I'm good.
That they might be actually planning to rebrand the Z car. Maybe that's all coming from the Supra / rebranding of BMW. That might be causing some of these rumors. So give us a question, Zach, and let me read it so that people can hear it.
Okay, the first one is about the larger SUVs here. So
give me a truck question.
This is a truck
All
question.
right, go ahead. Large SUV. Go, yeah. Nick
In
wants to
light
know.
of the new Sequoia TRD Pro, I've been thinking about large off-road worthy SUVs because at 6'4", the front cabin of my 1998 4Runner feels a little tight.
Okay, what's the question?
I'm getting to it. How does the Sequoia stack up against the Armada in off-road situations?
Oh, he wants to know, how does the Sequoia stack up against the Armada? I would say they're about the same. They're both independent rear suspension.
I don't know. The
Front
Armada.
suspension.
Well, the Sequoia is an independent rear suspension too.
Yeah.
The Armada in foreign markets is sold as a Nissan Patrol, and if you go to Saudi Arabia, I mean, people off-road the heck out of Nissan Patrols. So the Sequoia is largely based on the Toyota Tundra, but it's not quite as off-road worthy as a Tundra. Independent rear suspension, and it certainly isn't as off-road worthy as a Land Cruiser. So in that shootout, I might give the slight edge to the Armada.
Yeah, off-roading big family SUVs is something that is fun and cool, and expensive if you break them. But if you're seriously going to go off-road something, and especially if you're talking about a big family SUV, most of them don't have the same street cred that like an FJ Cruiser would or a Wrangler, right? They usually tend to have like a locking center differential,
Yeah.
and that's about it. So you probably need to actually do some serious upgrades to it. And the upgrade market for the large SUVs off-roading isn't that grand. It's cool to see them off-road. I always love seeing these things off-road, but as a pure off-road vehicle, there are limitations that you have to be aware of, and that's why I say kind of they're half a dozen either way.
Well, I think the Armada also has an independent rear suspension, at least the one they have here in the U.S. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, you're not gonna. The one that I think is actually quite off-road worthy is the Land Cruiser.
Yeah,
it's very off-road worthy. And then we recently tested a Z71 Suburban. This was recently, it was a year and a half ago, and that thing was awesome. That one had these really aggressive off-road tires. I think it had a rear locking diff. It was just a really sweet four-wheel drive truck that I actually probably would take off-road. It had a really beefy front end with good approach and departure angles.
Diego Rodriguez says the Sequoia, Tundra, Armada are 12-year-old designs, as is the Land Cruiser actually.
Well, the Armada is newer than that, though.
Yeah, the Armada is newer. Yeah, the Armada is newer, but it's based on an older design. So if you wanted a new big truck to take off-road that's like modern, what would you do?
New?
Yeah, I mean, we just did kind of an off-road beach review of the Suburban.
Yeah, it would
that's
have
newer.
Yeah, but it would have to be the Land Cruiser or the LX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, old.
Yeah, but they were refreshed pretty recently.
Yeah, but nothing underneath. It's just all cosmetic.
Okay, next question.
So Dan is asking about rear end ratios. What would be better for towing? And leading into it, he says, I've never owned any kind of Ford, and I'm looking into buying a 2017 F-150 XLT with a 5-liter V8. The first truck has 355 gears, and the second truck has a 373 rear end. Which truck is going to pull better, assuming both have the 6-speed transmission?
Well, there's a lot of variables when you talk about gearing.
Yeah.
Typically,
Let me ask the question. What's better for towing, a 355 or a 373?
Well, typically, the higher the number, the better for towing. So a 373 would be better for towing than a 355. But there are so many ratios. I mean, if you have a rear end that's maybe like a 355, but you have a really small wheel and a small tire combo, compare that to a 373 with a huge 22 and a huge tire combo. I mean, there's just so many variables. And then you're talking about four-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive. You have all the weight differences. So typically, a higher number will be better at towing. That's why you see a lot of the high tow packages.
Like a 410.
The max tow packages, yeah, 410. And even some of the older stuff would go up to like a 488. I mean, steep rear ends, really aggressive.
And then also you sacrifice fuel economy.
Yes,
Usually.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's always a payoff.
But they're also.
You want fuel economy, you want towing, and then what is your transmission gear ratios? Those also come into play, right?
Right. Yeah.
What is your tire size? What is your wheel size? There's just too many factors, and it's a hard question to answer because of that. But great question. Wish we could answer it more specifically.
Yeah. People are wondering if we know the numbers on the 7.3 liter V8. We have no idea. Ford is still being super tight-lipped about that new engine. We do know that they're putting that in the new medium-duty work trucks. So Steve Elmer is over at the Work Truck Show. Be sure to check out TFL Now, this very channel, where we have a bunch of really cool news from Ford about that 7.3. They're putting it in the bigger, I think, F600, and it's also going in the E-Series vans. So that engine's really making its way into a bunch of commercial vehicles.
Yeah, and speaking of vans, the big news from the Work Truck Show, of course, Tommy, was that Ford is now coming out with a 4-wheel drive van.
Yeah, the Transit, but I don't understand this. So it's a Transit van with 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
And I think what they're doing is they're trying to target the Sprinter 4x4.
It's super popular. It's like a 6-month wait for the Sprinter 4x4.
But hear me out here. The Sprinter 4x4 is a much different van than the standard Sprinter. I mean, it sits a lot higher. It's got a lot more off-road capability. The Transit 4x4 doesn't really have a lift over a standard Transit. I
want to see. I'm gonna be like you guys. It's like when the company rolls something out, somebody immediately asks, like I'll give you an example, right? This is classic. We just did a video on TFL Truck today where we took the Silverado with the 4-banger turbo up the Ike Gauntlet, right?
Yeah.
And instead of it commenting on how the truck does in a real life situation, a lot of the comments were like, "They should put it in the canyon." Right?
Right.
Immediately, it's like you want. It's not good enough what they did. You want the next thing. So let me go with that one. How about Ford should put 4-wheel drive into the Transit Connect?
Sure, let's just put 4-wheel drive in everything. I think there should be a 4-wheel drive Mustang. I mean, if it was my choice.
I'd buy that.
The question I have about the Transit, and I don't know, I have to go back and watch your video because I haven't seen it yet. I don't think it has a low range. Do you know, Zach? Does that Transit have a low range?
Not as far as I'm aware.
I don't think it does either. I think it's more of like an all-wheel drive system.
There's a great question here from Alex. He says, guys, do you think electro trucks are coming soon? Yes, electric trucks are having a moment. In LA, they rolled out the Rivian, and everybody lost their, you know what? I'm serious. Everybody lost their just because of it. And now electric trucks are the hottest thing out there. For a while, I could not see anything but electric truck coverage in every media outlet possible. And so, yeah, electric trucks are coming. They're the next big thing, and it's taken longer than I thought for them to become hot, but they're definitely having their moment. We're going to see a lot of manufacturers jump in with both feet. In fact, Tommy, you probably know this. There's an electric Wrangler coming.
Yes, sir. Actually, this is a big news that we recently published on TFLcar.com. Out in Geneva, FCA revealed a series of plug-in electrics for both the Compass and the Renegade. So they have a range of, I want to say, 30 to 40 miles on electric only. But what's unusual about them is it operates a little bit like the Toyota Lexus hybrid system in that the electric motor powers the rear axle, and then the gas motor or gas engine powers the front axle. So you have 4-wheel drive, but on electricity, it's technically a rear-wheel drive electric crossover.
And I'm telling you, it's a matter of years before an electric Wrangler comes
Zach
out.
has something to say.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say with regard to the Compass and the Renegade, FCA has not outright confirmed that those two models are coming to the U.S.
Right.
Yeah, they're aimed at Europe first.
Right, for sure. So I think we're still a little bit out to, heck, we still haven't even seen the JL diesel, right? I mean, we are still a while out before we get the Wrangler plug-in, I think. So we're going to have to wait and see what that's going to be like.
So I have another interesting question to ask you guys, just bringing it back around to mini trucks for a minute. Since we know Ford is working on a Courier, and GM and Fiat have small trucks in other markets,
yes,
do you think they're going to jump back into the U.S. market, either with those models or with something that's of a bespoke design?
I think, all it takes is one manufacturer to introduce a mini truck or even the whiff of a mini truck, and the others are going to pounce like hungry cats. Because, it happened with, think about this, Zach, it happened with the mid-size truck, right? For a long time, the only mid-size truck you could get in America, realistically, was the Tacoma.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
And the Frontier. That was it.
So,
Tacoma and Frontier. And then all of a sudden, GM jumped in with the Canyon, and next thing you know, it's like Canyon. All of a sudden, the Ranger's back. All of a sudden, Jeep's got a new truck, right?
So if you haven't seen a picture of it, go out and check out, Google something called the Chevy Montana. So the Chevy Montana is a truck they sell abroad. A truck is a loose term, but it's essentially, I think it's a front-wheel drive platform with a bed. It's like a super light-duty, unibody, car-based truck. It would be called a ute, essentially, in Australia. But it's a pretty wild little thing. I mean, it's really small. It's got a really small bed. Here, I'll show you what a picture of it. That's what the Montana looks like. So I'll be curious to see if they bring something like that here to the U.S.
Well, that's a Santa Fe, basically, right?
What?
That's a Santa Fe.
Santa Fe.
No, Santa Cruz. Sorry, that's a Santa Cruz.
Oh, a similar. Yeah, it would be a similar idea to what Hyundai was saying with the Santa Cruz, except this has no off-roading credentials. This is just a front-wheel drive.
All right, Tommy. Before we wrap this up, please, guys, come back tomorrow because we're having a really exciting show. I think it's exciting. We're going to be doing a live airing of our Bring a Trailer auction of the Cheap Jeep, our TJ, and I've got the guys running the local charity that we're giving half the money to coming in, so we're going to be meeting with those guys, talking to them about what they do for Colorado Rescue, basically.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be watching to see what that Jeep sells on Bring a Trailer. The auction ends at 4:30 tomorrow, right during the live show.
Mountain time, 4:30 Mountain time.
I'm pulling that up right now.
Yeah.
While you're talking about it.
Yeah, bring it up. The first day it went through the roof. I was surprised. We're up to like what, $600 bids?
Yeah, and
right
like we said, half of that is going to a really good cause. So we greatly appreciate any bids on that cheap Jeep. But if you want to own our little TJ Wrangler, Zach's working on it.
I got it right there.
Our little white cheap Jeep. There it is. Now is your chance.
Yeah, it's still up there. Money's going to a good cause. We'd love to have you guys place your bid and take it on home if you want it. And come back tomorrow and we'll see who gets this bad boy.
Yep, for sure. As always, I'm Tommy.
And I'm Roman saying thanks for watching. Remember, check out what, Tommy? TFL Truck.
Thanks. TFLtruck.com for the latest and greatest in truck news.
And before you go, tell them what cool video you put on your channel, TFL Classics.
Oh yeah, I did do a cool video. Sorry, it was yesterday. It was a long time ago. It's a video with an 1985 Dodge Ram Cummins, the very first prototype, the very first Ram to be powered with a straight six Cummins engine. Really cool history. Go to TFL Classics. Just search it on YouTube and check out that video because it's really cool.
Yeah, Nathan did the review. It's a good video. And shall I play us out of here?
Sure.
Or no? Should we
you screwed it all up.
I know I screwed it all.
Oh, don't do that.
Oh my
No.
God. Oh no.
It's there.
No,
Click there.
No.
And then click there.
I know. Don't make me feel older than I am, huh?
We're having fun.
And then nope. Oh, you pushed the wrong button. And then you gotta.
Oh, there we go.
Hey,
Nice.
got it.
I didn't do it. He did it. See you guys tomorrow. Ciao.